What do I love about my daughter?
What do I love about my kids?
I'm gonna cry.
I'll start crying.
My daughter is an old soul who teaches me how to be a better person every single day.
I love his heart. Like he loves big.
They are extremely smart and kind and opinionated, which I love.
He is so unique.
They see the bright side of everything. They have this altruistic love of people in the world.
She's stunning and she's witty.
Very athletic, very charming.
Like, he actually makes me laugh. I'm not laughing because he's so cute. He's like legitimately funny.
Having these children to teach me how to love has probably been the best way for me to learn how to love.
I just appreciate that they're good people, you know.
Whose is that?
Is that how ironic is that? What you're talking about?
It's around us, it's everywhere.
A long time ago, families were in extended communities. They were local, they were small. Children and parents largely worked together with neighbors on things that just needed to be done for daily living.
I was born in the very depth of the Great Depression. If you know anything about the Depression, it actually began on the farms. At that time, I wasn't much to help, but I can tell you later on, I was put to work, carrying wood, carrying water. I knew how to shell peas, I knew how to break beans, and I had a little wagon, so I was the water girl instead of the water boy. But that was the kind of things that we did.
You had responsibilities in the barn with the animals from a very early age. It's getting harder and harder to find 80, 90, plus year olds that have that perspective, that we just have no concept of what it was like to live in that kind of scarcity.
My mother was raised just about like her great-grandmother was. I was raised pretty much like my mother and dad were up to a point, and that's the way with my kids. They were able to change, but they had to change so much faster than I did.
When you guys think of your parents and how they grew up, what do you imagine?
So they had no internet, no smartphones. What do you think they did for fun?
I don't really know how they would communicate with their friends.
Faxing. It's a big thing in the 70s, faxing.
If you've seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I imagine their life was like Charlie.
It was definitely far different than what it is now. Lots more kids outside.
A lot more like being outside than inside.
I was outside 24/7.
We were told to get out of the house, either in or out. So if you wanted to go outside, you were out all day.
I pretty much lived on my bike.
I would ride my BMX bike.
I fall in love with a baseball.
But we would play kick the can in the middle of the street.
Capture the flag, to manhunt, to wiffle ball, to basketball, to...
We built a zip line, and it was actually made out of clothesline, which I would not recommend.
I remember getting up at 5:30 in the morning and help my friend with his paper route. He paid me with a donut,
Yeah, if I wasn't lighting somebody's house on fire, or pouring sugar in a gas tank or something.
Yeah, you went outside. You went and rang the doorbell.
Hey man, you want to play? And pick up somebody sort of one house at a time until you had a posse.
We'd go to Scott's house. Last time we saw the two of them, they were with Jennifer.
Then you went and did whatever you want.
And before you knew it, you had the whole neighborhood outside.
When the street lights came on, we had to come home.
Had to be home when the lights came on. When the street lights came on.
When the street lights came on.
Came home by dinner time.
Come in when it gets dark.
Came home when it got dark, and parents would look at you quizzically like, why are you here already if you're sitting around?
I feel like life is more authentic, more genuine.
Yeah, it got creative.
They got very creative. I feel like that's why our parents' stories are so much better than ours.
They're so much more fun.
How do you think they got in touch with each other?
They didn't.
They never got in touch.
Maybe the house phone.
They'd have to actually dial the phone number.
Remember in the kitchen, there would be that ringing sound?
We had the one phone in the kitchen that had the really long cord.
Still hung on the wall.
Yeah, still hung on the wall.
I can remember setting the dinner table and having to take the phone cord over my mom's head.
Yeah, I was rarely on the phone. if my sister was on. And then I would spend hours trying to record her.
We also always had to have quarters on us too for payphones. Like when you're out and about, it's critical.
I would call my dad if I needed a ride home, if it got too dark.
And I remember when call waiting happened. Like, what? What is this technology?
I had a pager at the tail end of college.
We didn't have a phone till I was in college. Everyone from the highway to here would be on the same line. So I think we had 9 people on the line.
I don't think I had an actual telephone until I was in maybe 5th grade.
But I think if we want to sort of be more real and focus on what people are experiencing now, we probably would want to be talking about the information revolution.
When I was a junior, I was taking a class and our professor was like, we are going to communicate with another college class in Sweden. And we were like, how are we gonna do that? So we all went to the computer lab, stared at this black screen, and we typed in like C:\\, all these numbers. I remember thinking why would anybody do this?
And she had this thing called AOL, and there was this dial-up internet thing, and it was like burp, 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 burp. And then all of a sudden she's in this chat room.
So, what's everyone up to today?
Well, Linda Emerson called and she asked if Dasha and Peter could help Andrew and Lisa learn about the internet.
What's a web page? Something ducks walk on? Ha ha, very funny.
And frankly, I remember there being almost nothing to do once you were online. It seemed really cool, and then you had no idea what to do.
It didn't feel life-changing until, I think, much later than that.
And particularly over the last 20 years, we've just seen this explosion of innovation and new technology.
I do remember the first time somebody said, "You've never Googled something?" And I was like, what's Google?
Yahoo meetups. I think they came before MySpace.
Facebook was born like the week our oldest son was born. So when we look at him with his adolescent awkwardness, like that's how old Facebook is.
My kids are way better at using apps and mobile devices now than I am.
Kids are so intuitive with like the mobile devices.
They can pick up any mobile device and it's so intuitive, they know exactly what to do with it.
Just pick it up and just be like, okay, there you go. And you're just like, what did you do?
I've seen kids run circles around parents.
At least now I have in-house tech help when I need it.
Technology moves quickly. It's like the Wild West.
I try to keep up with the latest.
By the time I'm aware of what it is, they've gone on to the next one.
How do you keep up? It's something new every day.
It's exhausting. You can't just like, okay, I gotta vet all this and vet all this.
I am not currently on any social media.
The use of phones has just ramped up.
I wouldn't even know how to navigate.
Everything is going crazy.
It's very difficult to opt out.
It's already too late. The train has already left the station way before I realized, and I'll never catch up.
Do I feel like I can protect my kids from the dangers online? No.
They're gonna have to navigate it and make decisions for themselves without me sooner than I want.
Its pace has been so fast that some of the, we'll call them guardrails that are necessary to keep an industry accountable have been set aside in the spirit of innovation.
Right now, we're effectively living in an experiment. How is this going to affect us? We'll find out with the current generation.
I will tell you that I'm probably going to be dead and gone, and I'll probably be thankful for it when all this comes to fruition. Because I think that this scares me to death.